Oh shit, everybody. We are here. It is about that time to get right back into it with another Showdown live team building thing. That's my intro for this episode. What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing? I gotta build a new team. I've actually recorded about 3 or 4 of these episodes already. All with entirely different teams, and either just the team didn't work out. This one was with my little brother, and I just had him pick Pokemon, which was kind of fun. But I fucked up the OBS settings again, so I probably can't release that one either. But anyway, we're out here trying to build a new team around something new, something spicy. I don't know. I don't really have anything that's super like interesting or fascinating to me to build around. I do have a couple ideas like I want to see, because I've seen absolutely nobody try to baton pass Z Celebrate, which is kind of silly to me because I think it's way better than Eevee, just because you can use better Pokemon for it, and also you can baton pass. I don't know why this is the set. It keeps like, it's starting to piss me off because you can see this set or this spread got corrupted. Showdown keeps, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it keeps corrupting all my spreads and my movesets and stuff. It'll go back to old ones or older versions of it, and I don't have like copies of it anywhere. And even if I do, it'll fuck up the copies too. Like, it's really starting to piss me off. And it used to only happen on my phone, but now it happens on my PC too. So I really don't know what's up with that. But I've got a couple different sets here that I'm thinking of building around. I was gonna use Z Celebrate on a Vaporeon, because I was like, this thing gets muddy water. We can put this in rain if we want to. You know, basically be Porygon Z, except with a better spread move than Blizzard, and more bulk to work with. But apparently the Z Celebrate one has to be locked into Jolly. Like, it has to be Jolly nature, which really sucks. Because as far as sweeping goes, that makes it pretty much limited to Leafeon and Flareon, which I actually did try on this team. Which is where I got the idea from. My little brother was like, I want to use Leafeon, because he caught it in whatever game. So I was like, okay, I can try to win with Leafeon. And then I saw that this thing got Z Celebrate. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it's kind of bad. It's definitely not sweeping on its own, because Leaf Blade just does not hit anything in this meta without, without Kartana's base attack behind it, basically. Leaf Blade's just not doing anything. I didn't try it with Baton Pass though. I originally had Synthesis here because I didn't realize. I thought Baton Pass was an egg move. So originally I just kind of, originally I was just trying to sweep with this. But now that this thing gets Baton Pass, it definitely could be interesting, because you can Baton Pass. See, this can't be hidden ability. This can't be foul play because it doesn't get it right now. In fact, it can't even be Wish, because Wish is a tutor move. But I'm thinking Z Celebrate Baton Pass could be interesting. Truthfully, I don't know how good it'll be, but we can Baton Pass subs. We can support with Snarl. I mean, really, this thing is going to be useless for the most part if it's not Baton Passing Celebrate, Z Celebrate. But I think it's got to be consistent enough at it that, as long as I support it decently with Fake Out or whatever. Because this thing can live pretty much any non-specs Moonblast from stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it can tank a Feeny, a Specs Feeny Moonblast. I mean, obviously it's worth checking. Yeah, this thing can take a Specs Feeny Moonblast. Probably not a max special attack one. Actually, yeah, it can, because we can put a little bit extra in Spadef. And yeah, this thing can take any Feeny Moonblast that isn't at like +2, so that's definitely interesting. So I don't know, I might build around this. I've also got a nice spicy Fire MZ with Z Sunny Day. You can boost your speed and kind of get like a little quiver dance thing going, like in effect, because you get your nice damage boost to Flamethrower. I originally had Heat Wave here, but it's weak as fuck. Also, you boost Morning Sun, which is really awesome, which you can actually, it's really cool with Z Sunny Day, because with the speed boost you can actually get Morning Sun off, which most Arcanines kind of can't. So I think that's really cool. been messing around with that a little bit, and also Snarl's just really nice when you're fast. And it's cool because this can sort of form a hybrid set. You know, this can be played as typical Arcanine, switch in and out, nuke something with Z flamethrower. It's not going to do that much, but you know, you can do that whole thing. You can just save your Firium for, you know, for nuking with flamethrower, or you can stay in, set up Z Sunny Day and start spamming flamethrower, dealing decent damage, morning sunning all the way up, snarling when you need to basically be like a really cool both offensive and defensive threat, which I really like. So I might build around this. I really don't know. The only thing preventing me from building around this right now is that I don't really know how to build around it. Because not a lot, like manual Sunny Day is kind of, it's not really something to build your team around, you know? I think it's almost going to be exclusively for Arcanine, which is fine. But like I said, I just don't know what to put next to it. So we could definitely try that. I gotta fucking rebuild my spread though, which is uber annoying. Yeah, we gotta get a good point on that here. Or we can just do the baton pass thing with Z Celebrate. Truthfully, the Arcanine sounds a little bit more viable overall than the Umbreon, but honestly, the Umbreon sounds like more fun. Actually, I don't know. This sounds like fun too. I had a really bulky spread on this, which meant that I didn't have much in special attack. I had modest, but I was running a lot of bulk on this because, like I said, this thing is going to be staying in sometimes. So I wanted some bulk to be able to just spam Morning Sun if I need to. You know, get that nice juicy 66% healing. And also you just live everything after a Snarl. After a speedy Snarl, you tank like Specs Koko, or not Specs Koko Gigavolt, but you know, like modest Koko Gigavolt in terrain. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100%, but I think you can take Psychium at -1, which is just insane. Like fucking nothing takes Psychium. Like I switched it in Metagross on a Tapu Lele Psychium, and the crit shaved off more than 50%, which is just stupid on a Pokemon that does not have bad special bulk. Like 80-90 is not bad special bulk at all, and I had some HP investment as well, and the crit Shattered Psyche shaved off 55% or something crazy, which that just goes to show you how stupid Tapu Lele is and how little Game Freak understands math. But I'm gonna calc Psychium right now, because if I can tank a Psychium in Psychic terrain, yeah, I'd have to put some major Spadef on this. So, I mean, I guess I eat my words there. I can probably tank Timid, right? If I take some out of Spadef. Because I pretty much had, I don't know if I had max HP, but it was fairly close. Yeah, that's still a ton of investment. So I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably tank Timid Psychium, but a lot of them are modest, so it's not really worth, you know, it's not really worth calcing for. And even just getting off Snarl on Lele is probably good enough for the rest of my team. So while the Umbreon sounds like more fun, and I do want to try it at some point. Let's see, what am I doing with this? Just putting the rest in. If I put 4, and wow, I have to put 12 to get that extra point. Okay, so I would just waste the last 4 on that. That's whatever. Because I don't really want to put it in attack, obviously. Yeah, whatever. So I think I'm going to build around the Arcanine, because it is unfortunately the more viable of the two. This is also the only Arcanine I would ever consider in VGC 17. And it's just because I hate Arcanine. I really, really hate Arcanine. I don't, like, I understand why people use it, but I really don't feel like it's as good as people think. And, I mean, there's got to be something I'm missing, because this thing is almost at 80% usage right now, which is just insane. The next most used Pokemon is Koko, which sits at around 49%. So there really has to be something to Arcanine, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out what it is. I mean, I get that it's a really versatile Pokemon, I get that it can be used for a lot of different things, but I don't feel like it excels in any of those things. So, I mean, throughout this series, you'll hear me talking a lot of shit on Arcanine, and that's because I really don't think it's as good as people think. At least, like, I don't know, because I think it must have a lot to do with the meta matchup that Arcanine has, because if we look at our fire types in VGC 17, we just don't have options. We have Marowak, we have Torkoal, and we have Magmortar. I mean, we have a couple, right? But most of the fire types are really not all that viable. Like, Marowak is probably, honestly, number 2 in terms of viability, which just goes to show how limited our other options are. I mean, Incineroar is actually pretty decent. You know, it gets fake out and stuff. Once this thing gets Intimidate, like, I know that's a lot of what people are speculating, is that once Incineroar gets Intimidate, I think this thing will be, I don't know, I think this thing has to be better than Arcanine. It won't replace Arcanine necessarily, because Arcanine does have a lot of interesting and honestly pretty good options. You know, it's got Snarl, well, speedier Snarl, I should say. It's got better offensive coverage. It's not necessarily Intimidate weak because it can run special, although physical is way better than special. But I think Incineroar will be, if not on par with, it will be, I mean, I don't know. I think Incineroar will be very good. I don't think anybody's denying that. Once this thing gets Intimidate, it will be very, very good. Because Incineroar has a lot of different things it can do already. You know, with an Assault Vest set, this thing has just absolutely nothing to fear from Tapu Lele. Even Specs Moonblast is a 2-hit KO. Meanwhile, this thing can Flare Blitz it and deal like 70% plus, depending on your spread. And if this thing is in Blaze, like, if this thing comes in at like 40% and then it eats a Moonblast, the Blaze Flare Blitz easily OHKOs, unless you're intimidated. But even then, it will still do a massive chunk. Obviously, Fake Out's extremely good. And also, it does have a bunch of different sets it can run. If you're not running Assault Vest, it gets things like Taunt. The Z Crystal will probably be pretty good as a nice offensive and defensive Pokemon at the same time. Because we don't have a lot of strong Dark or Ghost stab right now. And I think the exclusive Z move will be really good. Also, Darkest Lariat is really useful, despite it not being very strong at all. Just because things like Curse Lax are very, very annoying. I mean, honestly, as it is, I think Incineroar is pretty slept on. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Incineroar. We're here to build around this fucking ugly, stupid piece of shit. I hate Arcanine so much. I mean, just looking at its face, it's clearly a cunty piece of shit. Like, this thing is not here to make friends. This thing is not here to have fun. It's here to just be a snob. Not even be good at what it does. It's just here to be like, ooh, I'm the most used Pokemon in VGC 17. Oh, look at how cool I am. But whatever. We're gonna use it because I found a really fun looking set. And honestly, I've tested this a little bit. I originally had Flare Blitz here, but that just left me really Intimidate weak. And Flamethrower in Sunny Day, obviously it's going to be quite a bit weaker than Flare Blitz, but, you know, Intimidate was such a problem for it that I think Flamethrower is fine. But yeah, so we're going to mess around with this. Pretty sure we tank, like, I want to calc some things that are outside of Intimidate, just to see, like, because if this is not -1, you know, if we neutralize that, I want to make sure that I live, for example, 2 Kartana Sacred Swords, because if I leave, like, if I'm playing this like I would normally play Arcanine, and I just leave this in versus Kartana, and then it deals more than 50% with Sacred Sword, you know, I could be in a rough spot for no reason. I mean, that's obviously not a great example, because again, I can just Flamethrower it if I feel threatened by it. But, you know, I want to do some calcs with this without Intimidate, because that is going to be a mode I'm playing with, especially late game. So I want to make sure I don't have any, like, I want to make sure I don't do anything dumb. So I'd like to just know exactly how this is gonna fare versus a lot of things. Let's make this modest. I did have a spread for this, but like I said, fucking Showdown corrupted it. I really don't know why that is. It's never happened before up until really recently. Yeah, I gotta rebuild this spread, which is really annoying. So we do tank 2 Sacred Swords at near max HP. So I think I'm gonna start there at least. Not that it's a super important calc, because again, well, I mean, I don't know. If I use Firium for something, I would like to tank 2 Smart Strikes, just on the off chance that I do have to be slower than that thing, you know, if it's in Tailwind or whatever. Because if I decide to be dumb, read the Protect, Flamethrower or something else, and it Sacred Swords me, and then it's faster next turn, that would be a really dumb way to lose. And also, this is just a decent place to start with anything. You really want to be well prepared against Kartana, because Kartana's a bitch. But yeah, Tapu. Just gonna calc for some Tapu Lele shenanigans here. Clearly we're gonna die to Shattered Psyche, but we knew that. Actually, we didn't know that. We calced that. I'm stupid. But let's see, and how much speed did I have on this? 164. Yeah, because that's the 136 benchmark, which beats Pheromosa at +1, which I think is a good calc, because we do want this to be pretty speedy. We want to get Morning Suns before we get T-bolted, just so we can stall out. Like that's one thing that I noticed that was really, really cool, is that if you're faster than Koko, you can actually just keep Morning Sunning on the T-bolt, and it will either take enough from Life Orb that you can eventually kill it with Flamethrower, or you'll just stall out Electric Terrain and then you'll be in good shape. Especially if you can cycle Snarl into that. Like, this thing actually beats a lot of special attackers 1v1, which is really, really cool. So yeah, let's make sure, you know, just calc for bulky specs as a decent starting point. I feel like people run more special attack on bulky specs now. I don't feel like bulky specs is as bulky as it's either more bulky or it's less bulky. Because I feel like people know that bulky specs lives a Smart Strike. Well, at least I actually don't think what's his name, Shoma's spread does. I think you have to be I think that's what my spread does, actually. 236 HP, 252 defense lives a Smart Strike from Kartana. So I feel like people are either running less bulk or they're running that spread, pretty much. Because I don't know what Shoma's spread does, but I know it doesn't live. It probably lives like Celesteela Heavy Slam, which, you know, is a pretty, you know, I mean, it's whatever. Okay, so at -1, we're going to live that, but without some serious investment, we're not going to live that without. So what I want to do is I'm going to calc for just max and then Snarl this, which we do live, so I'm not too concerned about that. I would like to remind myself what Gigavolt is capable of. It's actually more damage than I remember. I must be facing some bulkier Kokos now. Because that's the thing, I don't feel like people run 252, 252 anymore. I feel like a lot of people are starting to run Modest and some bulk on Koko, which I think is good. I personally feel like that's the better Koko. But I also feel like that could lead to a resurgence in 252, 252. Just to, you know, just to outspeed and get the strong Dazzling Gleam off. And win the 1v1. But yeah, I feel like bulky Koko is much better now. Let's see. In fact, I'm even starting to think that Life Orb is going down in popularity. I still think it's pretty good, but I think Specs is honestly a bit better, because Dazzling Gleam actually does decent damage with Specs. And obviously Life Orb's just not conducive to bulk, which I think is one thing that Koko is honestly, like, contrary to its base stats. I think bulky Koko, like when I run Koko, I almost always go bulky. And the reason is because its typing is just phenomenal. I mean, Ray really proved a point with bulky Thundurus just how good an electric type is when it has defensive investment. And that's just because nothing hits it super effectively. Koko's literally only weak to ground and poison, which with some bulk you can tank most common ground moves other than like Tectonic Rage, which is pretty cool. I think you can even tank like Sludge Bomb from Nihilego, which is awesome because you can just 2-hit KO with Thunderbolt. So yeah. Anyway, what the fuck was I doing? I'm calcing for Gigavolt is what I'm doing. So let's make that Gamlin Berry or something that isn't Life Orb. So at -1 we should be able to tank that. I think Modest is similar. I think Modest is also true. Yeah, because if we make this -1, we should be able to tank that. So I think this is actually a pretty decent special benchmark. I think I ran more HP and defense to deal with Chomp's EQs a little better. Not that I beat that. Yeah, because Tectonic Rage is obviously going to blow me away. -1. Let's make that neutral, just to check. Hello? Okay, so we do tank Jolly Earthquake. I'm not sure how many people were running Adamant. I feel like Adamant Chomp is really only on Scarf or on like Braviary Garchomp teams, or like basically Tailwind mode teams, which, you know, could be a problem here. That's something we'll need to build into the team. But unless, I really don't know if I want to run enough investment to be able to live the Adamant one. It's actually not that far away. So I could invest in defense here because I live pretty much every special hit that I care about. Yeah, and that's not a ton of investment. So that might be worth doing. Just to be sure that as long as it's not, you know, some sort of boosting item, I can live the Adamant Earthquake. So I'm gonna go. I should have pretty close to enough for that. 188, 52. In fact, yeah, that's basically exactly where I was, and that's the speed I want. So I think that's a good spread. As far as what to put next to this, like I said, I really don't know where to go from here, because I actually don't think the spread needs a lot of support necessarily. I mean, obviously there's things I can't really set up against. So perhaps, I mean, I originally had Koko next to this to deal with Feeny, because that's obviously like that's like the societally accepted like go-to answer for Arcanine. That's, by the way, another really cool reason why Sunny Day is awesome on this thing, because people always bring out like Gyarados or Tapu Fini to deal with this, and you can just Sunny Day right in their face, because you'll probably be faster than both of them. Obviously you're not faster than Gyarados after an Intimidate, but it's probably going to protect on you anyway, just to scout for Wild Charge. So you can literally just click Z Sunny Day right in their face, eat up whatever attack they want to go for, and then just kill whatever's next to them, and then Morning Sun when you need to. Especially against Feeny, you can just Snarl, and then Muddy Water will actually heal you. Like, it will do 0 damage. So that's really cool. And also it's nice for... It's probably... the hell was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. It is really cool for things like, you know, if Kartana has to come in, you can outspeed it, and you don't have to take the Sacred Sword. Which, I mean, I couch for that anyway, but whatever. I don't know. I'm all over the place right now. Oh, that is another team I wanted to build. I built around Icium Z Hail Vanillux, which is really fun. The Z Crystal is way better for Blizzard than it is for Hail, but it is nice for like when Gigalith comes in, you Z Hail, get a speed boost, get your Hail back, you know, and then just sweep the, not sweep because it doesn't do that much damage, but you know. Anyway, I really don't want to build this AFK. I really feel like that's an overrated core. Not over... Actually, yeah, I would say it's overrated because it is good, obviously. I mean, it's probably the most common core, but it's a primarily defensive core, which I don't think really suits the team's purposes. Like, I think it's best as a defensive core, but as a defensive core, it has problems. Like, I mean, if you run bulky Arcanine and you run Calm Mind Feeny, you just have no immediate damage output, but you need stuff like Snarl and even Will-O-Wisp, I've seen sometimes, just to make Kartana functional as an Assault Vest switch-in, because even with Assault Vest, it's still taking massive chunks from most special moves. So, like, as an offensive core, it really isn't that strong, and as a defensive core, it's like it's a primarily defensive core just because of the switching ability. But I don't feel like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to, because honestly, I don't have enough alts that are high enough to really. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a bad player necessarily. I just don't have a lot of experience playing good people, if that makes sense. Like, I really want to get some friends that are really, really good at VGC, just so I have the experience of playing against people that know what the fuck they're doing. Like, I need to start playing some best of threes against people, like, against some people that are known who have tournament wins, just so I can understand, like, because I have the ladder mindset. I understand how ladder plays work because, like, that's just what I'm used to. Like, I know how people play on the ladder, and I can generally do pretty well on the ladder. I mean, not really, like, from what you've seen on the last episodes, that definitely seems to be a lie. But I think, I don't know, we'll have to see, because I'm trying to take an alt all the way to number 1, because I've never actually done that before, just because I don't care about laddering. Like, mainly when I build teams, it's to see what I would want to take to a tournament, and then I never go to the tournament because I can't. Dude, I am rambling all over the place. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna find something to put next to this Arcanine. Because obviously there's things that eat flamethrowers like Tapu Fini. Which, I mean, I can just sit there in front of, but I don't necessarily beat it 1v1. So that's something to consider here. Let's see. I mean, that said, like, I don't really want to build around AFK. But Kartana is a pretty decent thing to put here, just because it's going to die to any fire types anyway. And it does cover, you know, it does cover Fini. It does cover things that Arcanine doesn't want a flamethrower. But I feel like this is going to be more Garchomp than anything. I feel like this set is going to be more, it's going to have bigger issues with things like, again, like Chomp. Basically anything that can hit it super effectively that isn't a water type. So basically Chomp. And also things that can take advantage of Sunny Day in its face, which I don't. I mean, the only thing I can even think of off the top of my head is Arcanine. I mean, really, what can take advantage of Sunny Day other than opposing Arcanine? Like Marowak, yeah, but I mean, like we said, there was just no good fire types right now. I mean, that's really why I've been hesitant about. I mean, I'm 29 minutes into this video, and I only have this Arcanine set. But yeah, that's why I've been really hesitant to build this team, is because I just don't know where to go from here. Because I don't know how to build a good core around this. Like, I can put Koko here. Koko Arcanine's generally decent together. I feel like Lele Arcanine is stronger, which I could put Lele here. I definitely could make this a more offensive team. Put something like bulky Lele here. Actually, don't I have an Assault Vest Lele? That might be heat. I might just have to do that. That sounds like fun. I don't know how good that is. But Lele Arcanine, as I think I've reiterated many a time, just the combination of Lele Arcanine, like literally just as a lead, there's very few things that can take them on together. Like, just scroll down the list of Pokemon, and you'll be hard pressed to find a Pokemon that is not dealt with by one or the other. Like, you really have to beat these two in combination. Obviously depending on the spread or the set, because Scarf Lele changes that dynamic a lot. Like, Scarf Lele plus Arcanine is probably the strongest, like, combo between these two, but obviously Scarf Lele has a litany, is that the word? It has a host of issues, mainly being that its terrain is easily overwritten, which it relies on a lot for damage output. So I'm going to make this bulkier. I used Assault Vest Lele before, and it was really... Actually, I can't say it's good because I didn't have much experience with it, but it seemed good. Like, Lele is generally not a Pokemon that can switch in on a lot of stuff, so I think it's interesting to at least explore what a Lele that can switch in on stuff might look like, because this thing, even if I go literal max HP and max defense, this thing's still gonna hit hard. So we can see what that looks like. The other thing is when I team build, a lot of the time I'm just trying stuff out, as you can probably tell, you know. I'm just trying stuff out just to see what's good. Like obviously if this ends up sucking, I can just make this a more standard Lele, and even a more standard Arcanine. Although I really think this is a pretty good set. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like, because I tried it on 1 or 2 different teams, and I didn't really like it. I didn't really feel like it fit. So my success with it was somewhat limited. But like when it got going, you know, when it actually got a chance to do what it does, I felt like it was really good. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, especially because I especially like this because if I need to use Arcanine to cycle Intimidates, which is a potential mode for this thing, that obviously benefits Assault Vest Lele a lot. I can even put like HP Fire on this if I want to. I mean, I do have Arcanine sitting right next to it, so I don't need to do that, but I don't really feel like there's a lot of better options here. I feel like Dazzling Gleam sucks on a set like this. I think I do want Psyshock though. I really feel like Psyshock on Lele is underrated. It hits stuff like, just because it hits stuff like Snorlax really hard. Normally Snorlax doesn't really mind taking a Psychic that much, depending on the set, obviously. But I feel like Snorlax can actually eat up a Psychic pretty decently. But Psyshock just, it doesn't blow it away, but it does way more damage. And it's also nice for things like, it's nice for things like Nihilego. That's a great one. Especially I think on this Assault Vest set, where I can actually tank a Sludge Bomb and then kill back with Psyshock. Well, I can probably kill with Terrain, Psychic too, but if I'm out of Terrain, you know, Psyshock still kills, which is nice. Dude, I don't know what I'm on today. Why is Xurkitree at 11%? Why is Xurkitree number 14 in the usage? This is recent, right? This is the most latest usage stats. Why isn't Xurkitree at 14? Is there something I'm missing? Is that like a new... I'm assuming it's on Tailwind, right? Also, Pheromosa is really high right now. That's kind of interesting. I mean, Kartana's at number 3, which usually it's a little bit lower than that, I think. But it's not surprising that it's really high. Huh, this is certainly an interesting, like, Ninetales is making a comeback for some reason. Also, we got my boy Buzzwole just chilling. I need to finish that article on Buzzwole, holy shit. Dude, I'm sorry, everybody. I am all over the place today. I do not know what's wrong with me. Because I am 35 minutes into this video, and I do not have even a third of a team yet. Okay, so what can I put on this? I can put Nature's Madness here, because my damage output is going to be limited if I'm not in terrain. But then again, I can put, you know, I can put whatever here. I can put HP Fire. Again, not super necessary because Arcanine is there, just chilling. So I might put Nature's Madness here, just for things like P2. Actually, yeah, that sounds like the best thing. And I'm probably just gonna go with that spread I was talking about earlier. 236 HP minus 252, and then, you know, just 20 modest. Or I can just split these and do this, which I don't know what 116 speed beats, but it gives me a free point in Spadef. Well, free, like, I guess like a free point and a half, because at 135 I would get a half point from Assault Vest. So this technically gives me like 2 extra points, but whatever. Anyway, definitely feel like I could hybridize this team, because Lele, even with Assault Vest, is a pretty offensive Pokemon. Just with the added ability to switch into stuff. Arcanine, same thing. This definitely has an offensive and a defensive mode. The thing I like about this set is that it has both at the same time. So like if I have Z Sunny Day, I have the boosted Morning Sun and the fast Snarl to work with, but I also have the boosted Flamethrower. So I really like that this can be both offensive and defensive at the same time. So I kind of want to keep along that theme, although it would be nice to have some strong offensive pressure. Although I have used up my Z move, so I'm not really, like, normally when you're building Arcanine Lele teams, Pheromosa is a pretty natural fit here, but without a Z move, that sounds obviously a lot less strong. You can still run items like Life Orb and Choice Band on it, which I've seen, but I don't feel like it's as strong here. Then again, what really goes next to these? Could put things like Celesteela if we want to. I'd like to have some immediate speed, but that is, again, mainly going to come from Pheromosa or Tapu Koko, which, I mean, Pheromosa, as I said, has some issues here, as does Tapu Koko, because that fucks with Lele. I mean, we definitely could put this in Tailwind too. But I'm almost thinking that we put more like manual or self speed control, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure what that's gonna look like. I mean, I could go like a totemized Celesteela, although I think that set would only really work with a Z move. I guess what's his name? Shit, I'm blanking on his name. Conan. That's his name. Conan used like Wakanberry with the Totemize, which is interesting. I don't really know I don't really know what that set is doing, but that's interesting, I guess. I think it was even physical, which is kind of funny. But I kind of want to go along that vein. I'd like some. See, the problem is when I start setting up, obviously it discourages switching, which I feel like is going to be a strong suit of this core, is the ability to switch if needed. Obviously Lele is going to be doing a lot of switching. I guess it doesn't have to, but it certainly can if it needs to. Like I said, I really don't know. Like, that's part of the issue I've had with these, is that I really don't have, like, I have a set that I like that I want to build around, but I don't really have a core envisioned. Normally I don't normally I don't find one until I've played with it basically through trial and error. I mean, what do people normally run with this? I know Sajin's team was the whole like Sajin's Onog team is a team I really like. But it had like Bulldoze Arcanine next to Weakness Policy Grows, which is really cool. But that's obviously not where I'm gonna be able to go with this team. That said, I could still put Metagross here if I wanted to. I mean, it is fairly natural next to Tapu Lele just because it's a fairy type, and we get a nice little fairy dragon thing going, and obviously Metagross benefits from terrain. So certainly could go with that here. I'm not really sure what set I would put on the end of this. Like, I kind of want to put Bulldoze on here. I think this thing learns Bulldoze, right? Yeah. I kind of want to put Bulldoze on this just because, like, everything else, well, not everything else, but like, it totally would keep with the theme of like self-speed control. I mean, I guess I don't have to rely on that as a, as like a theme, but it seems like it could be honestly pretty decent. I mean, I guess I could agility. Agility might not even be bad. So I'm not going to be running like Bullet Punch on this. I have an answer to Kartana, so I don't really need Hammer Arm. Obviously I could just go with Choice Band if I wanted to, and just start mashing things really hard in Psychic Terrain. But I feel like agility could work here. I'm not really sure on the item. Life Orb seems like the easiest thing to just put here, but I would like to retain some bulk as well. So I mean I could just put Scarf if I just want the speed, but I feel like Scarf Growth isn't really that good, because you have to run Jolly, and I think literally max speed to outspeed stuff. So I think, yeah, because that only Jolly and max speed can outspeed Tapu Koko with Scarf. And obviously you don't have much room from there to work with bulk and power, seeing as you lose adamant and a full half of your EVs. So, I mean, that's a possibility here, but I don't feel like Scarf is the play. Again, I could go with Agility Gross here, but it's going to be very dependent on getting terrain if I want to do actual damage. And I think, obviously, Weakness Policy, Metagross, is really the one that takes the best advantage of Agility. And it's like, I could manually trigger that with HP Fire or something, but I really don't. Like, I don't have Bulldoze to Bulldoze next to Metagross. I don't have, you know, I don't have like Shadow Sneak, Mimikyu, or whatever people use to do this. So I mean, I guess I could get creative, put some sort of spice here, put some sort of fun set. But I really don't know of one that would be all that good. I could put like Wide Lens and just not miss, which honestly feels like a good item for Metagross a lot of times, just because Meteor Mash and Zen Headbutt are such bad moves. Like, they really are just the worst moves. I mean, Hammer Arm is another 90% bullshit move. But yeah. I don't know, I could just leave Metagross here and then just start building other stuff and then decide on sets later. So I think this core, I mean, it's somewhat common, I would say. Like, this definitely is not an unheard of core, but I think it's probably pretty good. So I might as well stick with something that's tried and true, if that makes sense. I mean, again, Pheromosa feels like a really natural pick here, just to have the Lele Pheromosa thing going. But I do think bulk is going to be nice to have here. So something, I mean, I could put something with Scarf, something strong and relatively bulky, and then just slap a Scarf on it. But I don't really know what that would look like. You can just scroll down the list of mons here. Koko, I don't get why people run Scarf Koko. That's such a dumb thing to me. Let's see, bulky, strong, Scarfer. Don't really know why I'm looking through the speed. Not gonna lie, I don't really know why I'm looking through speed here. I could also get some Psychic Seed shenanigans going, which could be kind of fun. In fact, I could even put that on Metagross, and just spam the hell out of Intimidate. So I definitely could put like Ments here if I wanted to. I don't feel like that's as good without, because I feel like physical Ments with Flyinium is probably the best Ments, just because it doesn't have to spam Draco in a meta filled with Tapus, especially Tapu Fini. Yeah, because I feel like Ments actually could be pretty good here if we can make a workable set out of it. Because it does give us a nice Fairy Dragon Steel core. We have all kinds of ice resistances. I mean, obviously we do stack Rock Slide weaknesses, but we've got Metagross just chilling. The biggest Rock Slide user is Chomp though, so that is something to consider. But we definitely aren't that weak to Chomp, because we do have dual Intimidate. We could even put Weakness Policy on this if we really wanted to. I mean, I really feel like Salamence could be good here. It's just that you have to mine some sort of usable set out of this, which I really feel like the Flyinium set is the best one. Which is still a possibility here, but I don't feel like it's going to be good next to Arcanine, because again, we're going to be bringing these in a lot of the same scenarios. And obviously Arcanine really, I mean, it technically doesn't require Firium to function, but it definitely does benefit a lot from it. So I feel like a Z Crystal on Salamence would clash a lot, but again, there's just no there really isn't like a good substitute, I think. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Salamence set. Because what can we do with this, right? The unfortunate thing is that this thing doesn't really get a good flying move. I mean, just to demonstrate, its main flying moves, if we filter by flying moves, its flying moves are literally Aerial Ice and Fly. Like, there's literally the 2 flying moves it gets. And, like, Z-Fly is, again, as I mentioned, pretty good on it. I think it's a really slept-on set. And I think it's way better than the special set. But the only other stab options it has are, you know, Draco for a special set and Dragon Claw for a physical set, which both just suck dick. Like, Dragon is such a bad stab right now. So I mean, really this would be, like, I really don't think this would be anything other than just a raw utility set. You know, maybe put, I mean, Toxic or something. You know, I put Bulldoze on my Flyanium one, which is really fun on the right team. But this thing just does not, like really, Salamence is a pretty good Pokemon. Or would be if it got good moves. I think this thing would be seen a lot if it got good moves, but it just does not get useful moves. I mean, it gets Roost, so we could put some sort of bulky set here. I mean, that might honestly be the play. Like, some sort of really bulky set with Roost. But again, what attacking moves do you put here? What supportive moves do you put here? Do you put Toxic? Do you put Bulldoze? Like, what else can this thing do? I really feel like a lot of my issues, as like, just personally, as a player of Pokemon, I feel like I'm a pretty good player, but I'm somewhat dependent on having a good team that I'm like really comfortable with to play. And I'm honestly a fairly bad team builder, as you guys can tell. That's honestly kind of why I even do this sort of content, is just because it makes me better. Like, the more I team build, the better I get at it. So, I mean, hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm sure a lot of you are probably pretty annoyed at me just going around and around and around in circles and just absolutely accomplishing nothing. But I really do want to be meticulous about this, because I feel like team building, I don't have that skill where people can just slap 6 Pokemon together with just random movesets and have it work. I feel like for me, I mean, even when I'm meticulous about this, it still ends up turning out like shit a lot of the times. Like, a good team for me, I really have to sit there, play a bunch of battles with it, refine it, throw this out, put this on, try out a bunch of stuff. And even then, I don't necessarily end up with a good team. So, I mean, either there's just some fundamentals that I don't really understand, or, I mean, I don't know. But what do I put on this? Is there a viable set that I can put on this? Because type-wise, it fits very, very well, I think. Especially considering, you know, it's got great, not great speed, but it's got quite useful speed tier, where in VGC 17, it's either just blistering fast Pokemon like Pheromosa and Koko, or like base 95s, which is like Lele Arcanine, and then just like the weird, you know, Ninetales Kartana, which are just chilling right in between those. So, like, I really feel like this is a pretty good speed tier. I mean, with Flyanium just being such a strong move, I really feel like, I mean, I might have to go with Flyanium here. I really don't know of an alternative set here. Might be worth just investigating. Like, I can put Roost on this. I mean, I could put Sub if I wanted to, but that sounds like shit. I could put Roar or Dragon Tail, just as a way to beat Trick Room, and set up sweepers and stuff. You know, give me a check to EV, I guess. Maybe I could even put like just 3 coverage moves on this. Put like Fire Blast. What else? What does this thing get coverage wise? It gets Fire Blast, Hydro Pump. You know, Stone Edge. Doesn't get Heat Wave right now, fortunately. Doesn't get Aqua Tail, which would honestly be a pretty decent coverage move. That would be so much better than Dragon Claw on the physical set. I mean, even with Flyanium being one-time use, Aqua Tail might honestly be better than than Dragon Claw. Because Dragon Claw just, even with stab, it just does no damage, and it just doesn't hit anything right now. Let's see. Put Rock Slide on this. Could put Rock Tomb as well. And this thing gets Thunder Fang, which doesn't really hit anything, I don't think. It gets Bulldoze, EQ. Again, some utility moves like Dragon Tail. Not a lot of them though, which is part of the issue here. I mean, I could put like Hone Claws and Dragon Rush or something. That's probably a lot worse than Dragon Dance though, and just taking the L and putting Dragon Claw on there. This doesn't get Refresh Night right now, does it? I don't think it does. Not that it would really have a lot of use for it. Yeah, like Toxic. This thing. Okay. So what would a coverage set look like? Roost, Fire Blast, Hydro Pump, like EQ or something. Like Stone Edge, Fire Blast, Hydro Pump or something. Man, this thing really is a tragedy. I mean, I would almost consider putting Aerial Ace on this just to have a consistent move to use. Like, just to have a move that doesn't have a lot of resist right now. Like, it might be better than Dragon Claw, no bullshit. Yeah, because this thing... Oh, this sucks. Because Rock Tomb and Bulldoze are quite flawed in terms of speed control. Oh, this thing might have to go, but that sucks. It really sucks. I mean, I could put Sunny Day and Flamethrower on this. You know, just to support Arcanine or something. Man, this thing is such a tragedy. It really is. Yeah, I don't even want to put Hydro Pump on this. A, because it misses, B, because it doesn't hit anything hard, and C, because we've got Sunny Day going. So it would be like, if I had a hypothetical set here, it would be Roost, Fire Blast. I mean, I guess Draco. This thing doesn't get U-turn. Yeah, so what would this set look like? Put Iron Tail here for fairies? I don't even know if it gets Iron Tail right now. God, this thing is just so... This thing is so unfortunate. It really is. Man. Because, like, I could put Bulldoze here next to Weakness Ballsy Metagross. But that sucks on a team with no protects other than on Metagross. I mean, I could probably put other things here that I could Bulldoze next to as well, but again, that just sucks when my two biggest team players right now have no protect. Man. Alright, so... Yeah, Roost, Fire Blast, Draco. That really is the set, too. I mean, this thing's going to be switching in and out a lot, so that might be... It's not that. It's still not okay. It still sucks. Alright, but I'm going to put Protect here or something. You know, maybe some sort of utility move. Yeah, probably Protect because ice moves are a thing. And then put like either Yache Berry or like a healing berry. I mean, you could put Life Orb here too, I guess. Just to have sort of a hybridized offensive, defensive set. This thing is going to take... Because the problem with Ments, one of the problems with Ments, that is that while this is okay, bulk, it actually does take pretty... It does take quite a bit of damage from a lot of special attacks. Like, I think Lele Psychic can probably... It's probably like a roll on it, depending on the item. Like if we put Salamence here. Sorry if I'm bumping the mic a lot, by the way, guys. I'm sure that's probably very annoying for you. Yeah, because Moonblast just OHKOs, that's not really surprising. But yeah, Psychic's a roll, so you can't even switch in on Psychic, and this is just modest. This is without a boosting item. I mean, I can probably invest enough to live that, which I probably will. But that just goes to show, like this thing is not as bulky as 95, 80, 80 stats would suggest. God, this is such a useless set versus half the meta. Like, if they have a Tapu Fini and my Lele dies, like, Salamence is just completely useless. I mean, what can I even hit with this? Like, Gigalith can eat it up, Snorlax can eat it up, Nihilego probably kills me with Power Gym anyway, but it eats it up. I mean, there's so many things that can eat a Draco right now. But then again, like, what's my alternative? That's part of the problem here. What is my alternative to Salamence? Like, Salamence feels so good here, except for the fact that its move, you know, its moveset is just going to be so bad. Ugh. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it for now. Probably. I don't really want to change this from Fire Blast, but I also don't want to miss. So, I mean, I guess I go Flamethrower here. Just sort of some basic spread. Probably put some bulk on this. That's how much I need to live the Psychic. Not that I'm going to tank a Moonblast anyway. Would be nice to switch in on one, though. Not that I'm really... Like, if I'm going to switch anything in on Lele, it's going to be Metagross anyway. So, I mean... It's probably better to calc for stuff like... I don't know. Can I live a P2 Ice Beam? I know Chomp kind of struggles with that a little bit. I mean, can I 2-hit KO Celesteela with Life Orb Flamethrower? Because if I can't 2-hit KO Celesteela, and I'm honestly not sure that I can, depending on the set, this could be really bad. Fire Blast 2-hit KOs, but Flamethrower. With lefties, that's a pretty bad roll. That is especially defensive, but I do think people run. I don't know. We can calc for like Smogon Celesteela. I don't know how common that specially defensive spread is. Yeah, because we should be able to 2-hit KO that spread at least. But yeah, if that thing gets a Spadef Beast boost, which a lot of them will, then that's gonna really suck. Or if it just Leech Seeds, the game's over. So honestly, Fire Blast might be worth running just for stuff like that, which sucks because again, Fire Blast is a terrible move. Yeah, like this thing has such a bad matchup versus everything. Alright, yeah, we might have to get rid of... I mean, this thing is so good otherwise, though. Like, literally just type-wise and having Intimidate and the base stat distribution that it is, this thing is so good until you reach its moveset. Ugh, that sucks. Alright, so what do we put here instead? That's the other issue here, is that there really isn't anything to put in its place. I mean, Sajin had Goodra, which is cool and all, but not really because Goodra is also a Pokemon that, like, Goodra has better matchups than Salamence does, but it also just does not do any damage. Like, even with super effective Sludge Bomb on Tapus and stuff, it's just doing no damage. Unless I put Specs on it, which might be a legitimate possibility here. I know people also run Scarf on it, because Scarf with, like, Ice Beam, T-Bolt, Flamethrower, and Sludge Bomb actually has a pretty decent matchup against a lot of the meta. You know, that might be okay here. It doesn't have Intimidate, which sucks, but I mean, I wonder if we can emulate that with Ments, because it doesn't get T-Bolt, but that's the most useless one. the only thing I'm really missing from that, because like Ice Beam is for Chomp, which, you know, which makes sense. But the only thing I'm missing from that is Sludge Bomb, which, I mean, is a big thing to miss here. And also just the stat distribution. Fuck. All right, I'm leaving this Mence for now. I'm leaving this Mence. I'm slapping some bulky-ish spread on it. Placing Flamethrower with Fire Blast. And we're gonna see how bad I really do hate this. I know I'm going to hate it, but it just feels too nice otherwise, other than the moveset. So we're just gonna try to find stuff to Draco and just switch in and out a lot so we don't have to use moves. Because we should be able to dodge it to it KO from Heavy Slam, I think. Right? Yeah. Should put 4 in. Yeah. Put 4 in each of those anyway. Which dodges the 2-hit KO from Max Attack Heavy Slam. Which people don't run Max Attack, but you know, just in case they do, I would like to beat this thing. What else can we take on? Because one of the cool things about Mence is that it does have a really, really good matchup versus Kartana. Kartana just cannot do anything to it. P2 eats up Draco. Garchomp probably doesn't eat Draco. It does have a pretty decent matchup versus Chomp, because Chomp does not run Dragon Claw anymore. I mean, obviously if Feeney's around, it's gonna suck, but we have Lele. And it might be worth putting another form of terrain control, although that's pretty much limited to Koko, unless we want to put Bulu, but that sounds like shit. I don't think we take... We might be able to take Sash Nihilego Power Gym. I mean, not well. So it might be worth putting some Spadef on this. I mean, the best we can muster in return is Draco, which doesn't do that much anyway. Oh man, this thing is such a tragedy. It really is. What was the 92 HP board? That was for Celesteela Heavy Slam, right? Okay. So I'm gonna, yeah, that's gonna be my spread, I guess. Take that as special attack. I mean, I might not even leave Life Orb on this. I might put some other item. Like, Life Orb is probably pretty necessary for the power. But this sucks because it ruins a lot of our calcs here. I mean, we do have Roost, but whatever. Yeah, because we take a Power Gym and then die to our own Life Orb recoil after doing like 51%. Which is just so bad. I mean, honestly, it might be worth putting Iron Tail on this over like Protect or something. Let's just calc what timid Iron Tail does this. Well, first of all, let's make sure it gets Iron Tail right now, because that'd be a stupid thing to calc. This is going to be a super long episode, if you guys couldn't tell already. Slash DT. DT Iron Tail. Or wait, shit. Slash learn Mence. I think I could just type Mence, right? Okay, so it's Gen 6 or earlier, so never mind. That would be kind of a cool thing for Nihilego, because that does kill, just straight up. But yeah, it doesn't get it right now. God, that's so sad. That's so sad. God, this so sad. Anyway, it's probably a dumb set overall, but I'm gonna, I'm just gonna do it just to see, just to confirm my suspicions. Wow, that's nothing left over for special attack, like at all. I can take some out of speed, which should help a little bit. I want 163, so not that much out of speed, so that I don't get fucking outsped and zing zapped. by Togedemaru because that cost me an entire set in the Indianapolis challenge, which is so dumb. But anyway, okay, so let's get some immediate speed on this team, or at least some way to prevent, like, at least some like sort of prankster taunt to prevent Drifblim Lele from just shitting on us. I honestly don't know what that looks like. I mean, I could put Trick Room on here, but I really feel like Trick Room is ass on a team with Pokemon like this. I mean, I'm not running a lot of speed on any of them, other than Mince and Arcanine. I mean, I don't have a Metagross set yet, so might eat those words, but I still don't feel like Trick Room's a play. I would like a way to deal with opposing Tailwind, though. Because again, Metagross is our main line of defense for Lele, as it is for pretty much every team that has Metagross on it. So, I mean, I don't feel like... I don't want to be forced into Prankster Taunt, but I feel like I kind of am at this point. This might be... This is such ass on a team with Lele next to it. I mean, unless I put Snatch Persian. I mean, what gets Snatch right now? Because I think it's like Alolan Raticate, Persian. Snorlax, I think, gets it right now. I don't even think Murkrow gets it right now. I think like Weavile gets it. I think I want to say Salazzle gets it. I think Talonflame gets it as well. But like, yeah, I don't even think Mandibuzz gets it right now. I mean, we can check /learn. Mandibuzz, Snatch. Yeah, so that's gonna be a transfer move. That really sucks. I think Sableye gets it, but then we might as well just taunt. Snatch could be interesting though. We do have the option of Persian here, which sucks next to Lele, but we can cycle Intimidates with Parting Shot, Snatch Tailwinds. I mean, I wish Clefable got it right now because that could be kind of nice. I mean, we could just slap Snorlax on the end here, which feels dumb to bring versus a Tailwind team, but it could function as a Trick Room tech as well as a tech to Tailwind. I mean, not really, because Snorlax kind of needs all 4 moves. It's like if I'm going to put Snatch in one of these slots, it's going to be Snatch, Return, Return, either Belly Drum or Curse. You know, if I put Curse here, and then it's going to be Recycle. So I mean, I'm walled by anything that resists Return, but... And also, Snorlax is useless for anything other than Snatch when I'm using it in a fast mode. So I mean, I could leave that there. I'm gonna look at what else gets Snatch. Again, it's not a lot. I mean, Persian could be okay here. I mean, it sucks to have its Fake Out ruined. I mean, that is a real issue. I mean, maybe we could function without it, because we don't have a lot of setup here. We've got Arcanine. That's basically it. I mean, we also have Agility Metagross, which we might change. So it might be okay to leave Fake Out of this. You know, we put Snatch, Parting Shot. It also sucks to have to rely on Snatch, because against somebody who knows what that does, that sucks a lot of dick. Especially against Drifblim Lele, where they literally just do something other than Tailwind and then just Moonblast Persian and kill it. But I don't see what else we can do here. I mean, we can try to match their Tailwind, but I don't feel like that works super well on this team. I mean, we do have, like, we can set our own Tailwind and then Z Sunny Day and still have the speed advantage that way. But yeah, Lele is going to be slower than everything if we match Tailwinds. Metagross is going to be slower than everything unless we put agility. Mence is going to be faster, but Mence is Mence. I mean, if we leave Snorlax here, it's the same thing. We're probably going to delete Snorlax. Alright, so with the Snatch, Parting Shot, like Taunt or something, and Foul Play. I mean, what are we really taunting? We're taunting Trick Room, presumably. But Roar is probably a more consistent tech for that. At least against, like, Mimikyu. Although, if we put Taunt and Foul Play here, we can just Foul Play and then Meteor Mash, which beats all but... Focus Sash Mimikyu, which is bad. You should not run Focus Sash Mimikyu if you have that. If you have that on your team, delete it now, because Focus Sash Mimikyu is actual AIDS. All right, so we put Mago Berry here. This is really stupid, but I guess I'm gonna leave it. Because again, we can change it if necessary, which is probably going to be necessary. Just going to copy my old spread. So I like that better than the quote-unquote standard one. Yeah, shave Fake Out off of this for Snatch. I mean, this is going to be a ladder team, pretty much anyway. Yeah, put Taunt on the end here. Make this Mago Berry, because that's superior to Aqua Berry on Persian. Main reason is, if you don't know why you should run Mago Berry on anything that generally doesn't run min speed, or minus speed, I mean, the reason is because if things like Araquanid, Bug Bite, and they have minus speed natures, Mago Berry will confuse them, which is really cool. It's just a minor thing, but it could save you. And it's not like Mago Berry doesn't, you know, it doesn't like heal less than Aguav or Fiji or whatever. So there's that. God, I really feel like that's shit, but we'll see. So I mean, this is actually okay, just looking at it. We don't have any major weaknesses. Like, we have 2 Moonblast weaknesses, but we have Arcanine, we have Metagross. The one Arcanine that shits on Feeny, like, doesn't kill Feeny, but completely neutralizes it. Not completely, but pretty much. We've got Lele, which can switch on a Moonblast easily, and obviously Metagross can switch in on those all day. And this spread lives a Dazzling Gleam from Koko, I'm pretty sure. So we're not super weak to that. We are a little bit, though. Koko does give us issues. Like, Lele is a very reliable switch in on it, but you know, having not a lot of speed leaves us vulnerable to a lot of Koko's partners like Kartana. Which is going to force us to bring Arcanine, which may or may not be a bad thing. We'll have to see in practice. Let's see. I really don't know what to put in this last slot. We'll want something for Trick Room. So we can taunt P2, which is good and all. Things like Mimikyu, I don't feel like we're 100% set for, because we can try to Foul Play and then Meteor Mash, which should kill again, unless it's really bulky or Focus Sash. But yeah, like Focus Sash Mimikyu next to Belladrum Snorlax actually get his win versus us. Unless we Foul Play with Persian, which is another tech. But Curselax obviously wins versus that. And also, if there's like Clefairy with Follow Me, that ruins that whole thing. But that's bad. Unfortunately, we can't put Taunt on Lele or Roar on Arcanine. which sucks. So perhaps we put Roar on something. Perhaps we put Trick Room on something. I really don't know what goes in this last slot. I might just test the team as is. Yeah, this is going to be a super fucking long episode. Yeah, I'm just going to make this a 90-minute episode probably. I might just test this core as is just to see what we're weak to. Put something on Metagross. Do I want weakness policy on this? Got Life Orb used up. Expert Belt doesn't do anything. Muscle Band is ass. Could put like a Healing Berry here. Could put like Lumberry. You know, Lumberry might be okay. I mean, on an agility set, Lumberry's not doing much because we're just not going to have much damage output. Can't really use a Z Crystal. Could put like Mind Plate or Iron Plate. Something like that. I could also just make this a choice band set, which is tempting, but I don't feel like being locked into a move here is going to be great for this team, despite the fact that we can run a lot of bulk on this if we run choice band. Let's see. Is there any like not Life Orb? Like, I feel like we've pretty much used up all of our options as far as boosting items go. All of our good ones anyway. I mean, we can't even really slap Assault Vest because we have Assault Vest on Lele. I mean, if all else fails, we can pretty much just put you know, like Psychic Seed or a Healing Berry on this, which might honestly be the play. I mean, I feel like Psychic Seed next to Dual Intimidate is gonna just live every hit, but I feel like that might be inferior to a Healing Berry because there's not a lot of special attacks that we just straight up die to. I think. I mean, we could try it. It's probably not great, but we could try it. It's gonna really discourage switching though. Which, yeah, I think we go with a Healing Berry here. Go with Fidgy Berry, probably. Yeah, probably don't put Agility on this. I mean, we could. There's no real harm in doing that, I guess. So we don't really have a better move to put in this slot, I think. Yeah, but Meteor Mash. I mean, we could put like a Screen or something. But I think Agility's fine. So we're just going to put Agility, Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Protect. I mean, honestly, I feel like this is kind of a dumb set, but we'll see. It's a good speed tier. 102 lets us beat Pheromosa. Well, Adamant Pheromosa, that's jolly. Let's make that Adamant. We could run 102, which might be all we need, especially if we're running some bulk on this. In fact, I might just put my typical spread on this, which has tons of bulk. 92 plus 36. It's also wonderfully symmetrical. I forget what it does, honestly. I truly forget what this does. But it's a good spread. Just remember that. It's a good spread. I feel like Agility is just out of place here. But I do feel like it's better than Light Screen and stuff. Okay. So I mean, this team isn't really lacking in damage output. It kind of feels like it. But it's really not lacking in damage output altogether. But again, I really don't know what to put in this last slot. I feel like we're missing some coverage here. We could probably use some sort of electric coverage. As for what electric type to put there, Koko feels like the only choice for a good electric type. I mean, there's other stuff like Xurkitree, but that's obviously going to be much worse than Koko. We could put something dumb like Jolteon or whatever, you know, like support Jolteon. but that's pretty dumb. We could put like Magnezone here. What that does give us, I mean, the thing is I want electric coverage here, but I also don't want another ground weakness. So we only have one resistance to it. So unless we put like Vikavolt here, which is a real possibility, that is a third Rock Slide weakness, but we do have dual Intimidate. I mean, we could put Vikavolt here. Vikavolt does also offer us some speed control with String Shot, so that's actually okay. Yeah, it's worth... I don't know. The Rock Slide weakness sucks a lot, especially considering we have nothing immediately faster than Chomp other than Persian. Yeah, that kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But I guess we can try it. Put like, I mean, truthfully, the best item for Vikavolt is probably, if it isn't like Expert Belt, which is not the play here considering we're going to be running String Shot. The best item for it is probably a berry. So I guess we go Ogloff. Well, we probably go Wiki Berry for the same reason as Mago Berry. If you're running something that's a special attacker, go with Wiki Berry to annoy those adamant bug biting Araquanids. I mean, it's probably never going to come into play, but if it does, you know, you'll be glad you had Wiki Berry instead of Ogloff. So we go T-Bolt. I'm gonna go HP Ice here over Bug Buzz. Reason being, Chomp is quite the issue for this team currently. Thunderbolt, HP Ice, String Shot, and probably just Protect here. Could put like Roost or whatever, but Protect is easy and functional. Not sure what spread to run on Vikavolt. Sam's Vikavolt is probably the best one. I'm gonna look and just see what it does. I mean, I know that's probably an old spread, but we'll look and see what the calcs are. Control F, like Volt. Alright, show me the damage calcs. So that kills Sash Kartana, blah blah blah. I mean, we're not running Bug Buzz on it, so yeah, that's definitely not a relevant calc at all. Yeah, I don't know why he's calcing for Salamence anything. Does leave Arcanine Flamethrower. Yeah, that seems like a pretty irrelevant spread at this point. See if there's anything here. Krookodile, Garchomp, yeah, fuck this spread. So let's just build our own real quick. I know this is probably boring as hell for a lot of you, but this is the why do I have two of these open? The hell? All right, whatever. Let's open up our damage calc again. Yeah, I know this is probably boring for a lot of you, but this is the team building process, at least for me. I know it's painstaking, but this is, I hope this is at least informative to people who want to learn VGC. Let's first calc against Garchomp here. Okay, so HP Ice does kill from modest max special attack, which is something to consider here. I mean, that really is precise though, meaning if Chomp runs any bulk, which it easily could, then that's gonna throw that calc off. So I mean, this is why Expert Belt is nice for stuff like that. I mean, honestly, Expert Belt might be fine just because we have Bolt Beam coverage here. But I think I like the Berry too. Rock Slide does that in return, which is actually not much at all. In fact, that knocks us right into Berry range. So I don't even know if I want to screw with that necessarily. Wow, that's honestly really cool. I do want to be able to outspeed some stuff if we String Shot, which I don't know how much speed we need for that. Probably a lot. Yeah, to outspeed Chomp we're going to need, if we make that 170, 170 divided by 2 is 85. Yeah, so that's going to take a shitload of investment. so that might not be worth doing. We could probably run enough to outspeed Arcanine after a string shot, which is 148, or 162 if we're calculating for a plus speed nature. 162 divided by 2 is 81. So we would still probably need a lot of investment to reach 81. Oh my god, that's so much. That is so much. Okay, so we can at least do neutral nature base 95s, which still is kind of a decent chunk there. But I guess it's probably worth doing. Just as long as we retain enough bulk to eat rock slide and stuff. In fact, I might calc for adamant, and then just put an extra 8 here, just to make sure that that 2 rock slides knocks us into berry range. Probably just subtract the rest of this from special attack. I also feel like this is slightly inefficient for HP. Yeah. I think, let's see, because 180 is probably, I think 180 is divisible by 4. My math abilities are awful. At 2:10 a.m. Yeah, so 180 is divisible by 4, so 184 might be okay, just because it's divisible by 4, meaning if we get hit by random Guardian of Alolas, we'll activate the berry. That's probably, I don't know, that's probably not worth EVing for specifically. But we can save some EVs for the rock slide and redistribute them elsewhere. Let's just calc for Lele. Psychic, that's insane. That's actually ridiculous. So I mean, do we hang on. So we make that 252. How much do we need if we max HP? Yeah, so we can probably drop that back down to, okay, we'll make that 236 then. Which, if we go back to Adamant Chomp, should still be able to live Rock Slide. We can see if the extra 8 in defense is necessary. Yes, it is. Okay. So this is looking like our spread then. Fortunately, that does subtract a lot from special attack, but it's alright. That's just a couple calcs. We can probably do more, but I just want to get a decent default spread here. Not really a default. That was kind of the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying. Just get a spread that's relatively functional here, just for some common calcs. 32 plus. I mean, honestly, I probably calc for a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter a lot of the time. But it's always good to be able to live Lele Psychic. It's always good to be able to live Rock Slides. For Vikavolt anyway, because it can string shot and then... Well, I mean, I don't know, because it's not faster. So, I guess what we're going for here is 2 HP Ices. Like Rock Slide, don't flinch, HP Ice, Rock Slide, don't flinch, HP Ice, which is, I mean, asking a lot. But we do get a 3rd chance because of the berry. So, anyway, enough talk. Jesus, this is already a 90-minute episode. I might just have to make these team building episodes 2 hours, because 1 hour is just barely enough to build the team for me. It's usually as much time as I spend building a team. Yeah, let's try this out. I already feel like we're gonna have some tough matchups against some stuff, but as for what that might look like, I mean, we're probably pretty weak to Lele. Metagross is our main line of defense versus Lele, which sucks. But yeah. Oh right, I forgot I'm on this alt. Yeah, I'm gonna switch alts after this battle. It's probably Explosion, except it's not, because what do you explode next to? I'm gonna lead Lele here. Hopefully to get the Psychic terrain in the face of the Feeny. In fact, I can probably lead Lele Metagross here. And just bring Mence in the back in case he wants to high horsepower me or whatever. I'm just questioning what I want in the back here. Because I can bring the Vikavolt for the Feeny, which might be the play because it gives me another high horsepower switch in, gives me a T-Bolt switch in. Arcanine's much better versus the Muck, which is a real issue here. Because my main way of hurting Muck is going to be Draco, which is not a great way to hurt it. So, maybe Arcanine is worth bringing then, just for that. Really depends on what type. If this is fire type Silvally, that can really suck if I bring Arcanine. Because I don't want a sunny day. Give it free flamethrower boosts. But we'll have to see. I think Arcanine is probably superior. I mean, we really have to make sure that we keep Lele Metagross healthy, just to deal lots of damage to the Feeny. But yeah, I can Nature's Madness this Muck, which is going to be about as much damage as Lele can deal to it. But there is a probable Poison Jab coming this way, which I know I can eat, but I don't necessarily want to take damage if I don't need to. He could also knock off Metagross here. So I might just double switch. Honestly, he's not going to throw a Moonblast into the Metagross slot. So yeah, I might just double switch, get off the double Intimidate on the Muck. Sucks to switch Metagross out of a Lele, but the Lele might switch here anyway. We'll have to see what he does, because I am low ladder, and people don't make plays on the low ladder. So we'll have to see how afraid of Metagross he actually is, which I assume he will be. But again, you never know. I think double switching here is still the play, just to neutralize the Muck as much as possible. We can also get Arcanine going, because I don't see any Intimidates on his side. Well, not that it matters, because we're special Arcanine now. But we can do decent chunks of damage to stuff with Flamethrower. The only real threat to Arcanine, honestly, is the Mudstale. So, and we still have options for that. We can still cycle Ments in and out. I think I need to ladder this ult up, because this is a spicy, delicious, fiery, fiery ult name. So he does go for the Shadow Ball. He does reveal the Shadow Ball, which is, I mean, I guess it's good. I don't know why he Shadow Balled my Lele and not the Metagross. Fortunately, he does get the fucking poison from Poison Touch, but now we know that that's not Gluttony, so I actually don't care about that thing at all. Although I do want to kill it, just because I don't want him poisoning my entire team. But I think I switch Ments out back into Metagross anyway. I can Snarl here if I want to. Or I can just leave Ments in to die, but I do want to keep Ments alive just for cycling Intimidates on the Mudstale, if he has it. So, don't really want to leave Arcanine in here either, because a Psychic will do, I'll say, too much damage. To the point where, yeah, I probably need to switch in Metagross here. Probably double again. That's probably a stupid play, but that might be the move here. I actually gained nothing from these first two turns. Venom Drench. Alright. Alright, stop it. Stop that right now. That's actually the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I might even just click Agility here. I wish I had Weakness Policy for this scenario. He does have Shadow Ball and Lele, so it's probably worth going for the Meteor Mash. Although I could also double the Muck. I'm not sure that Nature's Madness plus Meteor Mash will kill the Muck, but the Muck is less of an issue. It's still kind of a problem, even at -2. I could go into Arcanine for Lele and just not chance it. Yeah, I think that might be a fine play, just clicking Meteor Mash on the Lele and going into Arcanine, because I think this dude's probably retarded. Okay, so he switches, again, he goes for the Lele. That's such a stupid thing. I mean, I should have clicked agility there. But I can go back into my own Lele, get Psychic Terrain back. So dumb. Yeah, because there's no reason to keep playing these games. It's worth just getting off damage at this point. Sucks that I didn't kill the Lele. That tells me that that's bulky Lele, so I'm less afraid of it, but it can still chunk me with Shadow Ball, which is not great. I think he just goes for the water move here, so I'm just gonna click agility. I mean, I could Snarl here. If this is bulky Lele, I'm faster than it, so I'm just gonna click Snarl. Yeah, he can protect all he wants. You need to get the special attack drop on Feeny, which is great. He can't burn me with Scald or whatever. Yeah, he just clicks Skullman, which is great. Get the agility. Now I could Snarl again, which I think might be the play. Despite wanting to switch into Lele to get the increased Zen headbutt damage, I think Snarling is fine here because it should kill the Lele, depending on his spread. I don't know how much SpDef he has, but he does have Protect, so he doesn't have Assault Vest, which I mean I didn't expect him to. But you know, it's worth considering because if he did have it, it wouldn't die to Snarl. I'm still honestly not sure. Because again, he could have something dumb like max SpDef. Okay, so Lele does die, which is great. And we get the flinch, which is quite good. Which means we can just click Snarl again. It's gonna knock off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna protect and then Firium the Muck, get off some damage. And then hopefully be able to finish it off with Meteor Mash next turn. I think that's enough. Water Pulse. Sun. Oh, I forgot how fun low ladder was sometimes. Oh god. Alright, so I'm gonna Meteor Mash. I think Meteor Mash plus Snarl. Like if Meteor Mash for some reason doesn't kill, Snarl ought to be able to pick it up. I don't know the ranges on this. I don't know what spread this is running. I'm honestly thinking about this way too much. I just don't want to get embarrassed by losing to this shit. But I think we should be okay. I'm not that concerned. The worst case scenario is that Muck lives for some reason and then gets off knockoff, which would suck because it'll knock off our berry. And Metagross will be much less useful here. I mean, it's already much less useful anyway because the Lele is dead. So, I mean, I think it's fine. Yeah, we just get off another Snarl. Probably die to Water Pulse, but that's whatever. I mean, he just clicks Calm on like an idiot. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the game at this point. Because if I want to, depending on what's in the back, like, unless that's Max Speed Silvally or Raichu, yeah, I just get off a free Morning Sun here. Actually, it's not free because he can... High Horsepower probably does enough to me that it will probably kill me even if I'm Morning Sun. So, I mean, that also carries the risk of getting high horsepowered on Metagross, which I actually think is more likely because I feel like he just attacks Arcanine with Feeny and then high horsepower's Metagross. So I'm going to go, could either go into Mence or Lele here, which are two very different plays. But I think Mence is a slightly better one. Yeah, I'm just going to click Meteor Mash on the Tapu Fini. Get a nice 2-hit KO. Because he doesn't click Moonblast here. There's just no way. And we get the attack raise, which is... What the fuck? Come on, dude. Stop it. Fucking... This dude's like a massive tryhard. There's no way that was a read either. That's the thing. There's absolutely no way that was a read. Yeah, so I can just click Zen Headbutt on the Feeny. If I attack Mudsdale, I give it the stamina boost, but it's honestly whatever. Like, it actually does not matter at this point. The only annoying thing would be is if he protects Feeny. Actually, I'm just going to double the Mudsdale, because the Feeny actually is not a threat at all. Yeah. Doubling the Mudsdale should be fine, because even if he protects Mudsdale, Feeny will do nothing to me unless he wants to like confuse me with Water Pulse, which would be retarded, but that's not gonna happen. There's just no way that's gonna happen. I mean, now that I said it, it's gonna happen. Wait, why am I meteor mashing? I could just, I'm gonna click Zen. That's the slightly improved play. I mean, really, I should be able to deal with this anyway, even if I click meteor mash, as long as I don't fucking miss. That's the other possibility here. I mean, now that I said that, I'm gonna miss. He's gonna high horsepower me, not kill me, and then he's gonna confuse me with Water Pulse. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. Oh my, yeah, I just cursed myself completely. Yeah, this dude's taking entirely too long. Fortunately, I can't switch ults while I'm in a battle. Yeah, wow. I massively overthought that. Nice 11%. Alright, so now I can just Zen and yeah, this game. Clean. Actually, that's slightly higher than I thought it was. For all of 3 battles that I've played with this ult. Alright, let's get some real battles here. This is this password, right? Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get out of there. Alright. Now let's see how this does against actual opponents. I think I'm actually fairly low with this ult. Because like I said, I did test a few teams in other recorded episodes. And they all weren't that great. For various reasons. We should still be able to get a battle against somebody who's at least won a battle, who at least knows that it's 4v4 doubles. So yeah. By the way, that's not anything. I'm sitting on an exercise ball. I don't know what that sounded like, but just so you guys know. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut this out. We'll be back. All right, and we're back. Certainly, I don't know. I feel like people have this really weird fetish with Braviary lately. I definitely don't have an influence on that. Like, I definitely there's not enough people that watch this series for me to be the one that popularized Braviary. I feel like there's somebody else that took it high on Battle Spot, which is probably what it is. But I feel like I've seen a lot of Braviaries lately. Let's see here. Because I kind of want to lead Lele Metagross and just get off in agility. Because I definitely can eat an Earthquake, and I can threaten back with Moonblast. In fact, the Earthquake might even put me in Fidgy range, which would be kind of cool. But I don't feel like that's the move here. I feel like we got to play a little bit slower with this team. You know, Vikavoult's honestly pretty good here. So I want to include Vikavolt somewhere. Especially Vikavolt plus Arcanine. To deal with the Togedemaru. The only issue is the Chomp. So I can pretty much just bring Arcanine and Vikavolt, and then my 2 main answers to Chomp, which are going to be Lele Mence, pretty much. It feels like kind of a sloppy 4 to bring. But they technically do answer everything. I don't think I bring Arcanine and Vikavolt together, though. Okay, so I'm going to lead Lele, Vikavolt, or even, I can lead Mence Vikavolt, just to threaten the Chomp. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Mence Vikavolt, just because Intimidate is gonna be good for string shotting stuff. Bring Arcanine in the back, because clearly this is gonna bait out Togedemaru. And then Lele, right? Pretty much. I mean, it's gonna suck if he gets, because I don't want a string shot while that thing's out, while the Braviary's out, because that will give it Defiant. And he can also Tailwind in my face, and I really can't do shit about that. Metagross would be better in the, I think I'm just gonna bring Lele in the back. It'll be interesting to see how this leverages against this team. He didn't bring Braviary as a lead, which I think is sort of a misplay because I do have Intimidate users here. and not a lot of ways to threaten Braviary straight up, except for, you know, maybe like a bluffed Psychium with Lele, or like a T-Bolt from Vikavolt. But I mean, he has Togedemaru, so I really don't know why he didn't lead Braviary here. But that said, like, the Togedemaru can probably, like, it can fake out, but I don't want to double protect because of the obvious Encore that he could be packing. I think I can protect Salamence here, though. Yeah, protect Salamence, and I can't T-Bolt, unfortunately. But I even can stay in an HP Ice to break the Sash on Togedemaru and then just kill with... Wow, okay. I mean, I guess that play makes sense. I don't really know what you're fearing from Vikavolt. But he did just throw out the Moonblast, which tells me that that's probably Specs. I really sincerely think that that's Specs. He can't Encore Vikavolt here. So I can go into Lele and eat up the Moonblast. The Togedemaru could deal some decent damage still with Zing Zap. It is intimidated, but I don't feel like he throws out the Zing Zap here. He easily could. It really is a question of what he wants to do with Togedemaru here. I mean, I easily could just stay in Fire Blast, but I feel like that's a misplay because there is also a possible switch from Togedemaru. I don't feel like he switches Togedemaru here. He probably does fear the Fire Blast, so he might Spiky Shield. So I could go into Arcanine here. I feel like going into Arcanine is the play. And then I can at least... Yeah, I can HP Ice the Togedemaru, just to break the Sash. Yeah, he goes for Poison Jab and gets a crit, which is annoying. Yeah, that's super annoying. He's probably going to Encore me here. And I would think that that's his play. I truthfully don't know, but that would make sense to do here. Or Protect. I easily could Z Sunny Day here. I could Z Sunny Day here. I think I'm going to go for that. Because I feel like he'll protect Togedemaru. I don't feel like oh, shit. Ah, shit. Actually, wow. I'm a lot higher than I thought I was. Oh, shit. That sucks. Ah, that really sucks. Alright. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about these turns as good as possible. Because this team is one that does have to play much more slowly than a lot of the other teams I'm used to. I'm generally a pretty offensive player. So a team like this, it's not even truly a defensive team because it's not like Celesteela, P2, and all that bullshit. But it is a much more defensive team that relies a lot more on positioning and placing your attacks correctly. No, not necessarily placing your attacks correctly, just making sure that you don't take too much damage from stuff, I would say. Because offense is more about placing your attacks correctly. And this has offensive elements to it. But it's certainly not a strictly offensive team. This is sort of an odd team here. The Pheromosa seems really weird just sticking out on the end there. Because this does look like a hard Bulu team, just with Pheromosa just randomly at the end. That said, the Pheromosa is a problem. I do have also the Gigalith is a problem. I do have Intimidates to annoy most of those Pokemon. But Nihilego does do a good job of shutting down my Intimidators. So it might be dependent on playing Persian correctly even. Probably not, because the Pheromosa can just threaten that. I think Arcanine is going to be somewhat important here to prevent me from just dying to whatever Pheromosa goes for. Because I feel like this could be Poisonium Pheromosa. Like, I don't think it would be, but it easily could be. Because he doesn't have a lot of ways to I mean, I don't know. He does have Nihilego with poison coverage, so that probably is just standard Fightinium. But yeah, what am I doing here? Good lead, Arcanine Lele. That's not a horrific lead. Considering I am Assault Vest and I can eat up a Sludge Bomb. Yeah. So I'm going to bring that. Metagross is going to be great in the back here. In fact, I might lead Lele Metagross. Yeah. Lele Metagross is a fine lead here. I kind of wanted to bring Salamence as a switch-in to the Fightinium. But Salamence doesn't have a great matchup here versus a lot of stuff. I mean, it does really like switching in a Bulu, but so does Arcanine, so... I think Vikavolt in the back, honestly. This team does have a lot of weaknesses to Nihilego. Yeah, so this might be dependent on playing Metagross correctly. Let's see. He cannot threaten Metagross very much unless he's Gigavolt Havoc. Which would be a real issue. But I pretty much can stay in and Psyshock this Nihilego. Or even Psychic the Koko. But I do think I get up an Agility here. Because I don't really feel like switching. So yeah, I'm just gonna click Psychic on the Nihilego. Actually no, I'll click Psychic on the Koko because I'm not terribly afraid of the Nihilego here. I definitely think he switches it because it is going to be very important versus most of my team. Although he could easily predict the Psychic into Koko here. Like that just feels really obvious. Yeah, so he withdraws Nihilego. Certainly no surprises there. He does Volt Switch and do a lot of damage, so I assume that's Specs. Yeah, outside of terrain, that definitely seems like Specs damage. Yeah, Nihilego just takes a million from Psychic. I do get my Agility here, which is quite good for me. Fortunately, Incineroar is a real problem here for Metagross. So I might just have to take the L on the Agility and switch out. Especially depending on what this Incineroar's item is. Because I feel like he just protects and then attacks Metagross. That's a really obvious play, but it's a pretty viable one at that. He could read that. He could read my prediction of that and then double into Lele, which would be a good play. But I definitely don't think he throws a Power Gem. I don't think he predicts the Arcanine to switch in. Could also send in Vikavolt here. Because if he wants to leave Nihilego in, like it does threaten the Vikavolt, but I obviously threaten, I do obviously threaten Nihilego back with the speedy Metagross. So what I think I'll do, I mean it sucks that I can't Zen Headbutt that. Yeah, what do I do? I can Nature's Madness and shave off half, but that still leaves Metagross in a rough spot. Yeah, so I'm going to get in Vikavolt here, because I think I do force out the Nihilego, or at least force a Protect. And then I click Protect myself. He could Flare Blitz here. That might have been a bad play. Okay, so it does Darkest Lariat. Metagross, no surprises there. I'm going to click String Shot, because I should be able to eat a Power Gem. I don't eat a Flare Blitz, I don't think. But I think if he's Flare Blitzing into Metagross. He could easily double Vikavolt here. But I think Metagross is definitely a more pressing issue for him. Although I can switch Metagross into Arcanine, which is a pretty safe play because he does not attack Metagross and Nihilego. Like, there's no way he does that. So I'm going to click String Shot and then go into Arcanine with Metagross. Which should let me live a Flare Blitz with Vikavolt if he wants to go for that. Yeah. That sucks. Burn does suck because I'll be taking Chip that I really don't want to be taking. But Arcanine is faster now. Arcanine does have the speed advantage. And he's not going to kill Vikavolt with a T-Bolt, or at least he shouldn't. I mean, we'll have to see. Dazzling Gleam should do a hell of a lot, though. Fortunately, Vikavolt's not affected by Electric Terrain, so if I am going to kill the Incineroar, I have to double it, and even then, I'm not sure that I'm going to. In fact, I would have to probably Fiery him to have any shot at killing it. So I'm gonna T-Bolt the Incineroar. I could Snarl on the Koko, or I could just raw Sunny Day, not use my Z move, because I do have the speed advantage right now. I'm not sure of a switch coming here. Yeah, I want to get some damage on the Incineroar, so I'm going to do that and Snarl. So he does leave Koko in. And that does a million. I get a crit in return, but he's not Berry. I assume because he has U-turn, that's Assault Vest. But a crit Thunderbolt doing 50%. Yeah, that pretty much screams Assault Vest. Okay, so I can Sunny Day and reduce the... Like, I really wish I was affected by Electric Terrain right now. Because what I could do right now, if that were true, is I could Sunny Day, and then my Electric Terrain T-Bolt would definitely kill the Gigalith, which would be awesome. That's not gonna happen here. I probably need to save Arcanine. I can Fiery him the Koko here and just kill it if I want to. But I'm definitely at risk of a Rock Slide here. I don't know what I need to save Vikavolt for. So I'm just going to T-Bolt and... Do I switch? What do I do? Do I need to save Arcanine? He has Incineroar and Nihilego in the back. So yeah, I'm just going to Fiery him the Koko. It's probably not even going to kill. Oh, it did. Clean. Shave off a chunk on the Gigalith, as he does Curse, which is a greedy play for sure. Because now I can make that, he probably sends in Nihilego here. But depending on... Because I really want to go for the Sunny Day T-Bolt play, because that would work right now for killing the Gigalith. But he does claim a kill here with Nihilego. If I can predict correctly, it's presumably a Power Gem coming out. I can get Metagross in safely here. Presumably the Power Gem's into Vikavolt. He might be afraid of the E-Speed though, but he can't do anything about an E-Speed if he is afraid of it. Because I don't want to just take the double death here for no reason. Okay, so I think he will Power Gem into Vikavolt, so I'm going to go into that slot with Metagross. He could make a good play and protect an EQ here. Man, alright. Time to try for a Sunny Day. Fortunately, I used my Z move. Wow, I'm faster than the Nihilego. That's actually insane. He went for Trick Room. Ah, shit. That might just cost me the game right there. I could have gone for the T-Bolt too. I could have gone for the Sunny Day T-Bolt play, and that would have saved me the game. It really depends on if this Gigalith has Rock Slide, or not Rock Slide, EQ, which he could. But I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm gonna Meteor Mash the Nihilego and Psychic, so I should be able to kill now that Sun is up. So there is that. Oh, let's rock him. On to the Metagross. That should... he fucking crit me. That's actually such dicks. But the thing is, I pretty much do still win here because I protect on the fake out. I should live the burn damage. Yeah, I protect on the fake out. And he could just click Flare Blitz here. Yeah, this is definitely a mind game. But I think I protect on the fake out. Claim a kill on the Nihilego. Yeah, so he goes for the fake out. Oh shit, why is that slower? Alright, this dude is actually cancer. Oh my god. Fucking... This dude is min speed Nihilego. I feel like I should have picked that up by now. It's actually stupid as fuck. Alright, so we take 2 L's there, but I think the team is working okay. I am right at 2 hours. I think I'm gonna do one more battle. Wow, this dude has just all kinds of threats. Okay, so man, okay. I mean, I really feel like Persian's just a dead slot if there's no Tailwind coming. Let's see. I feel like Arcanine's a pretty... It's a pretty meh lead. Because, like, it does have a good lead matchup versus the Metagross and the Kartana. But I do get blown away by a... Well, I mean, I do have Lele. I could just lead Arcanine Lele here. And hope that I'm slower than the Feeny. I'm probably not. In fact, I might even be... I might need to make this slower Lele just to underspeed Feenies. Yeah, I might just do that. Take this out of speed. Dump that back into special attack. And then I can make this... So I think Feeny's min speed. Might as well make this 102. Yeah. So that'll still outspeed Pheromosa after a string shot. But yeah. I don't feel like slow Feeny's a thing. I mean, it might be. But yeah. I think I can just lead Arcanine Lele here anyway. Like leading Lele versus a potential Metagross is pretty dicey, but I do have the Arcanine for that. I don't want to bring Mence here, but it feels like a... I mean, it kind of feels like a must bring. Because I really don't have a lot for opposing Arcanine. And I think Vikavolt is an unfortunate also must bring. Go and claim victory on this dude. Okay, we're back. With 20 seconds to go, this dude decided to just pop right back in. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing for a full... You know, however many seconds that was. But whatever the case. Let's see here. Certainly an odd... Yeah, this is why slow Lele is probably the move here. Because we would be in a much better spot right now. Obviously I do threaten the Metagross. In fact, I might even just Z Sunny Day turn 1. Like, I feel like that's the play, because if the Koko wants to come in, I'll outspeed it. Obviously I threaten the Metagross, so he'll probably like protect in Muddy Water, which is gonna be just fine for us as long as we don't get the accuracy drop if we Z Sunny Day. So I think we just Z Sunny Day turn 1, and then I mean, we can just shave off a clean 50% with Nature's. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I could have Moonblasted there too. Yeah, he just stayed in and earthquaked. Ah. Wow, and we took nothing from that too. That's actually pretty clean. Unfortunately though, I mean, we can threaten 2 kills here, but he does also threaten a potential kill of his own if that's like Flyinium. So what I think I'm gonna do... I mean, I don't think that's Draco. I think that's Flyinium. And if he does fly in, it's probably on the Arcanine. I don't think we take that from full, right? Arcanine. Why did this calculator get updated all of a sudden? 188. 52 versus Salamence. Yeah, let's just calc for adamant. We'll go +1. Make that a Z fly. Yeah, so if that's adamant, we should die. If it's jolly, which it might be, and it depends on if it's the DD variant or not. Yeah, if that's jolly, we should still have a good chance of dying to that. So I mean, it sucks that we made that play. I mean, it might be worth just clicking Morning Sun. Actually, no, we can go into Immense. We can Morning Sun. And go into Immense. Yeah, clean. Because the Metagross definitely cannot kill us right now. Yeah, he clicked Bullet Punch. No problemo. Get all that right back. And now we can click Flamethrower on the Metagross pretty freely. I mean, I don't want to drop a Draco in Misty. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't think he throws a fire move into Mence though. I really don't know what he does with Arcanine. Other than like, you know, Wild Charge for some chip. So I'm just gonna go for the Flamethrower on Metagross. I could make a read and predict the Feeny to come in or something. And just Snarl. But the Metagross is a problem right now. So I am just going to Flamethrower and attempt to get rid of it. I mean, if he Flare Blitz the Salamence slot, that would be pretty clean. But yeah, he doesn't know that we're special, so we just blow that thing away. Which he probably feels quite upset that all of his hard work just got erased. But he does think his Flyanium kills right now. So I'm gonna go Lele into Mence, probably. And I can click Snarl here if he is the special variant. He hasn't revealed a move on either of his Pokemon. They're probably both physical. But this pretty much covers all of our bases here. Yeah, so he clicks Flare Blitz, which is just fine. We should eat up that Hydro Vortex? Nah. No, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. So I might just click Morning Sun again. I could probably... I'm not going to kill this with Flamethrower. I can Snarl again, because that does confirm it's a special variant. His Arcanine did Flare Blitz. I mean, I don't need to Morning Sun here. But I might as well. So I can Morning Sun, and then I can actually probably click Roost. Yeah, because he's going to switch. Which is fine. We get some nice recovery. Heal all that right back up. Yeah, and he clicks Flare Blitz again. No problemo. Even if he burns us, which he... Well, I guess he can because we're flying, but whatever. So I can click Snarl again. I could Roost here. But the Moonblast is probably going to do more than is worth. I mean, I could Roost, like keep clicking Snarl and Roost. At some point it would be nice to get my Sunny Day back up. But I'd like to wait until the Arcanine dies. So I'm just going to click Snarl and probably Roost again. Because it will annoy the Feeny. If he specs, this could be an issue. This could have been a dumb play. Yeah, because if he doubled and he has specs, he can probably kill me right now. Yeah, so we click Muddy Water, missed Arcanine, which sucks for him. But I can get Sunny Day back up here. Unfortunately, I cannot really click Draco. I mean, I can, but it's going to be basically the same as the Sunny Day boosted Fire Blast on the Arcanine. Which, I mean, at this point, I might as well go for. Especially, I'm not sure that that will kill the Salamence. He does click Moonblast and just kill me. I'm not sure if the crit mattered. Probably didn't because I was kind of low. But it's all good. Because I can just Snarl again. Like, this set is honestly kind of flames. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Psychic does more than Nature's Madness right now. Missed the Feeny, which sucks, but whatever. Wow, Nature's Madness would have done more. That's not a Solve S Feeny. There's no way. That has to be a Solve S Feeny. I don't know of a world where Tapu Fini takes 40-something% from Psychic Terrain boosted. Or wait, fuck. This needs to be Tapu Fini. Come on. Type. Yeah, we'll just make that Calm Mind Fini or whatever. Put this in Psychic Terrain. Wow. Wow. So this is pretty weak then. Okay, that's good to know. I can click Snarl here again. There's literally no risk in doing that. Unfortunately, Arcanine can probably kill my Lele right now, but obviously I cannot switch. Yeah, and that really sucks. I mean, maybe clicking Flamethrower on the Arcanine was a better play. He doesn't get the berry, which is good. Yeah, I'm just gonna click Flamethrower on the Arcanine. And Protect, because I honestly don't know if it kills. He didn't get the berry, which is really good. I'm assuming that's Z Crystal then. Yeah, it's kind of a, just a safe play. He is just going to spam Calm Mind here, but that's fine because I can keep spamming Snarl. Yeah, and I can just keep clicking T-Bolt. It's not going to do much. It's probably just going to bounce off because he is +2 SPDF. Yeah, but that bounces off us. And that actually did a respectable amount as well. I mean, I can click Sunny Day just to annoy him. But I can also click Snarl and accomplish a similar thing if he does want to go for the Moonblast. And this might chip it to the point where T-Bolt will kill. Yeah, he does just click Moonblast. He does get the special attack drop, so that's not going to die, but at this point the game's over. I can just click Flamethrower and T-Bolt again. You can Protect like a little pussy. Yeah, I can just click Snarl, T-Bolt. The only worry here is a potential crit on Vikavolt, but whatever. Yeah, that's the game. Colleen. Yeah, this is a stupid long episode at this point. But I kind of want to keep going. That's the problem. Alright, fuck it. I'm keeping going. This is going to be a stupid long episode. In fact, I might even make like a separate intro and just basically warn you guys like, hey, this is a stupid long episode. Watch this in parts. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, rendering this is going to be insane. But I kind of don't want to stop. Like this team honestly feels like hot flames. This team is quite fun. Even Salamence doesn't feel that bad. Because like I said, it doesn't have to stay in. It can just roost and then switch out. Like it almost never has to actually attack. Which is hilarious. He does have Bulu Drifblim. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I've tried it and it's quite bad. I mean, the problem I think with Bulu is just the fact that it's so weak against Arcanine. Like if Bulu got better, I mean it gets Stone Edge, which is about as good a weapon against Arcanine as it can ask for, but I mean, I don't know. Bulu seems like, because Bulu and Tailwind is terrifying. It's just that its only strong moves are going to be grass type moves, which sucks. It really needs Play Rough. I think that'll make it a lot better if it ever gets it. But yeah, like God forbid they make Play Rough a tutor move, because they're gonna give it to a bunch of broken shit like Arcanine, and like Kartana or something. But the day that thing gets Play Rough is the day that it becomes a lot better. Still not that great, But at least it will be able to dent dragons and stuff. Like, it can still dent dragons with grass moves, but with Play Rough, it'll actually have, like, you know, like a good shot at them, you know, with a Scarf set or whatever. But this might be the chance to try out Persian here, because it does have a pretty great matchup here. We snatch Tailwind, we foul play the Kartana. You know, we can parting shot on stuff, which is going to be important for neutering grassy terrain Leaf Blade, I think. We probably also want Arcanine here. Could probably go Lele, potentially. I feel like if he's Bulu Drifblim, he's going to have some speed on Bulu. Presumably enough to outpace Pheromosa. So we might be able to get Psychic Terrain here, which would be good. I don't feel like Lele does a lot except erase terrain, though. It does dent the Arcanine, which is going to be probably pretty important. But it is another weakness to Kartana that we really don't need. So I might lead Persian plus Mence is honestly the best lead, I think. Arcanine in the back. Unfortunately, that does leave us somewhat weak to the P2 because we really can't, like, we really don't have anything to break it with necessarily. I mean, we can taunt it and stuff and eventually just keep wearing it down. But that's about as good as we can do versus it. I don't feel like Metagross is also that great here because we do have answers to Bulu, and that's mainly what Metagross does here. So, I mean, I guess we bring Lele in the back. I mean, bringing Lele in the back is fine because it's our best way to hurt the opposing Arcanine. But let's see here. I think we snatch here. I don't see a play for us otherwise. I can stay in and Fire Blast the Bulu if I want to, which might be the play. I could easily go out into Arcanine or even Lele. The thought being he's not going to Woodhammer this slot. He's presumably going to Woodhammer the Persian if he wants to do that, especially because I don't think Life Orb Fire Blast kills Bulu. So if he decides to Woodhammer Persian, if we have Psychic Terrain up, it's not going to kill. So I think I do that. Yeah, especially if we snatch Tailwind. We put Lele in Tailwind, which would be great. Yeah, as he goes into Arcanine, which is great for us. He snatches, or he uses Calm Mind. Okay. It wasn't really what I wanted, but I guess that'll work. Shit, yeah. Okay. At least that means I take Flamethrowers better, I guess. I don't really know of a good silver lining to that because I was going to take Shadow Balls all day. It's funny because he's actually using my set. I was running Grassy Seed and Calm Mind, which is actually pretty flames, I'm not going to lie. It's only really good with Electric or Grassy Seed because this thing does take a lot of physical damage. But yeah, Calm Mind is really cool on Grassy Seed Drifblim, just because it does give you that really good bulk, and also it makes Drifblim useful. You can actually get damage with it, which is, you know, it's kind of crazy. But I think I'm going to Snatch again. I'm not sure if he knows how Snatch works. But I'm going to prevent him from getting... Oh, this Spinef drop sucks. But I do get a nice chunk on the Bulu. Fortunately, I lose my terrain, but I can just get an Intimidate off here. No problem. In fact, I can even keep snatching here, because I really don't want him to get Tailwind. I can probably just go right into Arcanine, or Mence, doesn't really matter, but Arcanine. I mean, they really are interchangeable here for these purposes. Wow, that's a Z move into the Persian, and we eat that up. We slurp that up. Absolutely, completely slurp that up. So I'm just gonna keep clicking Snatch until I die. In fact, I'm even gonna Z Sunny Day here. Yeah, 'cause he goes into his own Arcanine, which is whatever. Yeah, he's just gonna keep Shadow Balling. I don't outspeed the Drifblim right now, though. That might have been a bad play. I'm gonna Snatch again. And try to Morning Sun. I don't take a Shadow Ball from here. That really sucks. Yeah, that was a stupid play. Oh, man. Yeah, I was too paranoid about the Drifblim, or about the Tailwind. I was definitely too paranoid about the Tailwind. Cause yeah. I'm gonna click Fire Blast on the Arcanine, predicting the Bulu to come in. I mean, that's kind of my only, it's kind of my only play at this point. He's probably gonna click Shadow Ball into Lele. So in fact, I might double the Drifblim instead, because that is honestly a bigger threat than Bulu at this moment in time. Yeah, especially if he wants to Calm Mind up. I'm not gonna kill that too. That really sucks. I do eat up the Flare Blitz quite well though, which is cool to see. But yeah, I pretty much lose at this point, I think. I mean, he can't really take down Mence immediately, but he can take down Lele for basically free. I do take down the Drifblim. I don't think you double Mence here, right? Yeah, you should just go for the Flare Blitz. I can try to Roost here, but I assume that means he has Ice Beam. If he doesn't have Ice Beam, which he should, he definitely should have Ice Beam, but if he doesn't, I can pretty much 1v1 his entire team. Because the Arcanine's not going to do anything once... Yeah, there's the Ice Beam. So, GG, that sucks. Played pretty stupid. But yeah, I'm just going to get one more, round it off at a nice 2 hours and 30 minutes, and then we can do, go back to our regular episodes of just, you know, 45 minutes to an hour, roughly. A lot of my last episodes were a bit longer than an hour, but that's what I'm shooting for. It's 45 minutes to an hour, except for this episode, obviously. But yeah, so he does have a Gyarados. The question is, do I care about Gyarados? I think I do. Because Vicavolt's really my only way to immediately threaten it. Because this Lele really does not hit that hard at all. Which is like, okay, I didn't expect it to. I just would like it to do a little more. I don't like that Dragons live Moonblast. I don't like that Arcanine only takes like 60% from Psychic. That's not the Lele I'm used to. But let's see here. I can lead Arcanine Lele again here. Has a pretty, like, the Gyarados would be annoying to see, but he does need to DD. If I have Mence in the back, he does need to DD to really threaten me, and I can Z Sunny Day and just invalidate his Waterium. I mean, obviously if you just fly Inium, it's still gonna do quite a bit. But Arcanine Lele is a pretty solid lead because it removes his grassy, removes his electric terrain. Prevents the Sky Strike if he wants to go for that with Talonflame. I have Arcanine to threaten the Kartana, Moonblast to threaten the Garchomp, and the Buzzwole, and Z Sunny Day to annoy the Gyarados. So Arcanine Lele is a pretty solid lead here. I think I bring Mence in the back just as a secondary option to threaten the Kartana, and as a secondary option to threaten the Garchomp, as well as annoy the Buzzwole, because I don't want that thing getting going, as well as intimidate the Gyarados. It sucks versus the Koko, but that is another way to threaten most of his team, honestly. I do need to play a little bit cautiously around the Talonflame because the Talonflame can set Tailwind as well as have some boosted fire attacks if I go for Z Sunny Day. Which sucks for Vikavolt too. That is quite rough, actually. In fact, I might even need to leverage Persian somehow. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna lead Persian and like Lele or something. Persian Lele or Persian Arcanine. Probably Persian Arcanine, just to bluff Fake Out. Persian Arcanine, and then Mence in the back. Sucks to not have electric coverage for the Gyarados, but or for the Talonflame even, but what can you do? I'm gonna snatch Tailwind here. Truthfully, I want to just go straight for the Firium on Koko. Like that is a real temptation here. But I think Z Sunny Day is gonna do a lot of work for versus the rest of his team. So unfortunately, I do need to save that. He clearly can get a lot of damage off with this Koko here. Even if I switch into Lele. So Firium Firiuming Koko might seem like it seems like a good play, but I have a distinct feeling that it's not going to kill. So I'm just going to go into Lele. Block a Sky Strike if he wants to go for that. Man. The double protect feels kind of obvious here too. But I don't think he double protects here, because if I fake out something, I also give him something. So yeah, I'm just gonna go snatch turn 1, switch into Lele. I should be able to snatch still, I assume. Oh, he did go for the double protect. That really blows. So I assume that means the Talonflame's gonna switch. Unless he doesn't know what that does. It would be a very ballsy play of him to stay in Tailwind. Man, I kind of want to go for it again, not gonna lie. The Koko is probably afraid of Lele, but it could stay in Dazzling Gleam and do a good chunk to Persian. In fact, I could even see him doubling Persian here. So I'm gonna go into Arcanine. Because that is fairly safe. I get off an Intimidate on the Talonflame. As well as just eat up pretty much whatever attack he wants to go for. And then I can just Psychic the Koko. If he wants to switch, that's fine. Yeah, so he just Dazzling Gleams. Does 0. Yeah, just clicks Flare Blitz. Which is nice. Oh, I should have Psychic the Talonflame, actually. That was probably pretty stupid. Yeah, because now he does get Tailwind, which is quite a lot of shit. I'm assuming the crit mattered on Koko, but I don't think he knows that. So I can go into Mence and then Moonblast the Chomp. Or alternatively Psychic the Talonflame, but I think once the Talonflame gets Tailwind, its job will have been done. So I think Moonblasting Chomp is going to be more important here. I actually don't think Earthquake kills Lele here. Yeah, we eat that up. We slurp that up. We don't kill the Chomp though, which is unfortunate, but he is not clicking Tailwind for some reason, which I'm perfectly okay with. Yeah, he just forfeited for some reason. Does he not have Tailwind? Does he not know that he... I don't know what he's doing there. But that wraps it up for this episode, everybody. Shout outs to all who made it this far. Like, holy shit. Hopefully you guys found this informative. I do kind of apologize for going in the insane logical loop-de-loop that I tend to find myself in when I'm team building. But hopefully you guys understand my thought process there. But yeah. What else? I forgot what else. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you got questions, leave a comment. Or if you've got criticisms, I take criticisms as well, as long as they're valid. Don't be stupid. This is not an invitation to be stupid in my comment section. But if you've got a legitimate criticism, I do take. Like, I want to be a better player. So if you've got a legitimate critique, you can leave that in the comment section. I will welcome an intelligently well thought out critique. And once again, if you guys like talking VGC, if you guys like team building for VGC and all that good stuff, you are again more than welcome to join my Discord. get some teams looked at, you know, even ladder if there's people in the voice chat, and yeah, all that good stuff. And if you enjoy VGC content, last thing you can do is subscribe, leave a subscription, and I will see you guys in the next episode.